Bonjour! Today we're going to be learning some expressions that don't translate directly from English to French. These expressions in English use the verb I am. For example, I am hot. But in French, we don't say I am, we say I have. And it's quite an important one to get right because sometimes the meaning can be quite different if we get it wrong. I hope you find it useful. Okay, so some of the expressions that we use I am with in English, we can't use in the same way in French. So for example, in English you might say I am hungry, I am cold, I am hot. In French you can't translate that directly, even though we would think, I am, I'm going to need to say je suis. You have to stop yourself and think, no, I don't use je suis here. In these particular cases, instead of je suis, you're going to need to use j'ai. You're going to need to say I have, because in the expressions that we're going to look at now, in English we would say I am, but in French they say I have. So there's one that you may well know already, and that is when you're talking about your age. And in English we say I am however old you are, or you're talking about your pet, he is however old he is. But in French, we say how many years I have or my dog has, okay? So we would need to start off with j'ai, not je suis, and we'll say j'ai, and then we say the number, and then we say on. We say how many years we have, like how many years of life we have under our belt. So j'ai, whatever it might be, on is how you pronounce it. I know there's an S on the end, but we don't pronounce it. J'ai on. And if we're talking about a family member or a pet, we might say he or she has, is how we say that, and then we would say their years, and then say on, their age, and then on. So we would start off, let's say we're talking about our cat, we might say il a, he has, il a 11 ans. Il a 11 ans. Or maybe you are 11 and you would say j'ai 11 ans. I have 11 years. J'ai 5 ans. I'm 5. Or il a 5 ans. He's 5. Here are some of the expressions that we would say I am with, or he is, you are, but in French, we need to say I have. So the first one is I am hungry. And in French, you say j'ai, I have. Remember, j'ai meaning I have. You have hunger in French. J'ai faim. J'ai faim. Kind of finishes in your nose, but you do close your mouth with a sort of sound at the end. J'ai faim. J'ai faim. Think of famine or famished. J'ai faim. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. J'ai soif. J'ai soif. Soif. Think of quaffing a drink. J'ai soif. J'ai soif. I'm thirsty. I have thirst. J'ai soif. Now this is the one that's important to get right, particularly because it means something different if you use je suis rather than j'ai. With this one, to say I'm hot, we need to say j'ai chaud. J'ai chaud. I am hot. I have heat. J'ai chaud. If you say je suis chaud, it can have other connotations that might cause some blushes. So j'ai chaud is what you need to say if you're feeling your temperature is hot. J'ai chaud. The next one is I am cold. J'ai froid. J'ai froid. It's got the little rattle in the back of your throat if you can do that for the R. J'ai froid. J'ai froid. Think of freezing. J'ai froid. J'ai froid. Or fridge. Or freezer. Of the froid. J'ai froid. J'ai froid. I have cold. Now this one, this little cat's hopefully going to help you. This one is I am scared. I am scared. And in French we don't say I am scared, we say I have fear. So j'ai, I have, and peur, like a cat purring. Think of a scaredy cat. peur. J'ai peur. Ooh, j'ai peur. J'ai peur. I'm scared. J'ai peur. J'ai peur. And the last one that we're going to do today is j'ai mal. J'ai mal. J'ai mal means I am in pain. It literally means that I have bad. J'ai mal. And you can carry on with this one and say where you hurt, and that might be for a video another day when we talk about I've got a sore back, I've got a headache, I've got whatever. But if you just say j'ai mal by itself, it just means I'm in pain. So if you did need to go to the doctor and describe that you were hurting somewhere, you can use j'ai mal and you can say j'ai mal ici. J'ai mal ici. I'm in pain here. And you can point to places if you're not sure of body parts just yet. So j'ai mal, I'm in pain. J'ai mal. Right, let's see if we can remember them. First one, we're starting them all with j'ai. Remember, not je suis, not for any of these. We're always doing I have. So j'ai, what was this one? Think of being famished. J'ai faim. What was this one? Think of quaffing down a drink. J'ai soif. This one, I'm cold. Think of a fridge or a freezer. J'ai froid. Let's look at this one here, the hot one now. J'ai chaud. J'ai chaud. J'ai chaud. And we'll have a look at the scared one. I have fear. Think of our scaredy cat. J'ai peur. J'ai peur. And the last one was the pain. I'm in pain. I have pain. J'ai mal. J'ai mal. Mal can mean bad in some words in English as well, like maleficent. So, j'ai mal. Okay. What we can also do, if we want to emphasise a little bit and say, I'm not just cold, I'm really very cold. I'm not just scared, I'm very scared. I'm not just hungry, I'm very hungry, is we can say j'ai très, and then we say the word. So j'ai très faim. J'ai très faim. Have a go. I'm very thirsty. How would you say that? J'ai très soif. The next one. J'ai très froid. J'ai très, let's do hot now. J'ai très chaud. Say the whole sentence aloud if you can. I'm very scared. J'ai très peur. And the last one, I'm very much in pain. J'ai très mal. J'ai très mal. And hopefully we might need to answer that we're not any of these things. We're not in pain, we're not hot, we're not scared, we're not cold or thirsty. And what we have to do for that is put, instead of the très, meaning very, I'm very hungry, I'm very thirsty, what we're doing is putting a pas in. So I'm not hungry, I'm not thirsty. J'ai pas. J'ai pas. And you'll see here that I've written j'ai pas and je n'ai pas. And we've talked about negatives already, that with the ne in front of the verb et, in front of the little et part, that's what you would see if you were writing this. Je n'ai pas. The ne needs to be in there in the writing. When you're speaking, as we've said before, that ne can be left out. And often in speech, French people don't say that ne. And I feel like, let's be like the French, let's drop the ne. It makes life a bit easier. We don't have to worry about where it needs to go. We can just drop it out and we can say j'ai pas faim. J'ai pas faim. I'm not hungry. J'ai pas faim. How would you say I'm not thirsty? J'ai pas soif. How would you say I'm not cold? J'ai pas froid. How would you say I'm not hot? J'ai pas chaud. How would you say I'm not scared? J'ai pas peur. J'ai pas peur. And how would you say I'm not in pain? J'ai pas mal. J'ai pas mal. A little recap for you. First of all, remember that some expressions in French need to be translated with j'ai rather than je suis. You have to say I have rather than I am. To say I'm hungry, you say j'ai faim. J'ai faim. Think of that famine or famished. J'ai faim. To say I'm thirsty, j'ai soif. J'ai soif. Quaffing the drink. J'ai soif. To say I am hot, you say j'ai chaud. J'ai chaud. And this is the one that can mean something different, so that's an important one to remember. J'ai chaud. I have hot. J'ai chaud. To say I'm cold, you say j'ai froid. J'ai froid. I have cold. Think of the freezer. Frozen. J'ai froid. To say I'm scared, you need to say j'ai peur. J'ai peur. Think of your scaredy cat purring. J'ai peur. And the last one, to say that you're in pain, say I'm in pain, you need to say j'ai mal. J'ai mal. Mal meaning bad. I have bad. I'm in pain. J'ai mal. You can say that you're very hungry by adding très before the word. So j'ai très faim. J'ai très froid. J'ai très chaud. And we can also say that we're not hungry, thirsty, whatever it may be, by saying the word pas before the word that we need. So j'ai pas faim. J'ai pas soif. J'ai pas chaud. J'ai pas froid. J'ai pas mal. Remember though that if you're writing it, the n should be in there. But when we're speaking, we can drop it. If you want to. It might be that you prefer to keep it in, and that's completely up to you. Personally, I think it's a little bit easier without it. And if we don't need to do it when it's just informal speech, why make life more complicated than it already is? Okay, I hope that was helpful for you. And I will see you next time. Au revoir.